Hey there, space cadets and Earth defenders. Welcome back to our survival series, where we've already dived into the creepy corners of horror movies. But today, we're cranking up the weirdness to interstellar levels with our top 10 tips to survive an alien invasion. Yep, forget about masked maniacs and creepy crawlies. We're talking little green men and their not-so-friendly UFOs. Whether you're a hardcore UFO chaser, a sci-fi fanatic, or just someone who spent a little too much time watching The X-Files, these tips are for you. So let's suit up in our best aluminum armor, keep an eye on the sky, and get ready to outsmart those extraterrestrial party crashers. Tip 1. Know your alien types, a galactic field guide for earthly survival. When aliens come a-knocking, it's not just little green men or flashy light-up finger dudes. You've got a whole Star Wars cantina of possibilities knocking at your door. So let's break it down, X-Files style. First off, there are the explode first ask questions later types. Think Independence Day, but with less Will Smith charm and more we're all gonna die panic. These extraterrestrial party crashers usually come with ships that make our fighter jets look like paper planes. If you see one of these bad boys in the sky, it's time to dig out that bunker your crazy uncle built for Y2K. Next up, the sneaky ones. You know, the invasion of the body snatchers crew. They're all about that undercover, incognito life. One day your barista is making your coffee. The next day, they're making plans to harvest your organs. If your friend suddenly hates pizza and starts talking about the benefits of photosynthesis, it's not a new diet, folks. It's aliens. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Some aliens might just be intergalactic tourists who took a wrong turn at Alpha Centauri. They might want selfies with the Eiffel Tower or a quick jaunt around the Grand Canyon. Be a good host, show them around, but keep an eye on your silverware. You never know what they might consider a souvenir. And then, there's the shapeshifters. These guys are the real deal. One minute, it's your cute little poodle, Fifi. The next, it's Fifi, destroyer of worlds. So, when your pet starts levitating and speaking ancient Sumerian, it's not a party trick. It's an alien. A word of caution. Some aliens have mind-reading mojo. They'll know you think their spaceship looks like a flying waffle iron. Invest in a tinfoil hat or start practicing your poker face because you don't want them knowing about your secret stash of Twinkies. Lastly, remember the golden rule of alien encounters. Keep your friends close and your flamethrowers closer. You never know when you'll need to toast some alien buns. In the end, whether you're dealing with a Martian diplomat or a Venusian carnivore, knowledge is power. And in this case, it just might save your bacon. Stay sharp, Earth defenders, and may the Force be, well, you know. Tip 2. Stockpile. Like it's the end of the world, because it might just be. When E.T. and his ugly cousins come to town, you'll want to be ready. This isn't just grabbing an extra bag of chips for movie night. We're talking full-on, I'm not leaving my bunker till 2050 levels of preparedness. First things first, water. You're going to need lots of it. And no, beer doesn't count, Chad. I know it's liquid, but you can't survive an alien invasion on Bud Light and sheer stupidity. Get yourself barrels, or better yet, a rainwater collection system. Remember, if aliens decide to turn off our water supply, it's not like you can just ask them nicely to turn it back on. Food, and I'm not talking about your 3-year-old collection of Halloween candy. You need the good stuff. Canned beans, freeze-dried who knows what, and enough ramen to last through an apocalypse. Variety is the spice of life, but in this case, spice is the spice of survival. Don't forget your salt, pepper, and for the love of all that's holy, some hot sauce. You don't want to be eating bland food while fighting off an alien with your spatula. And let's talk about power. If the aliens zap our grid, you'll want your own source. Solar panels, generators, and if you're feeling fancy, a wind turbine. Just make sure you know how to use them. We don't need you electrocuting yourself before the aliens get a chance. Lastly, don't forget your meds. And no, I'm not talking about your weekend party pills, folks. Stock up on the essentials. Aspirin, antibiotics, and band-aids. Because when you're running from a 6-legged alien hell-bent on tasting human flesh, you're going to get a few scrapes. Stockpile like a pro, and you might just outlive those extraterrestrial assholes. And if all else fails, Hoard toilet paper, because we all know how important that is in a crisis. Stay alive, stay sane, and for goodness sake, don't forget the can opener. Tip 3. Master the art of hide and seek, Alien Edition. Let's dive into the high-stakes game of cosmic hide and seek. When you're up against beings who probably invented interstellar travel while we were still figuring out the wheel, you gotta be sneaky. Like ninja-level sneaky. First off, your hideout. No, Kevin, your mom's basement isn't going to cut it. You need a place so off the grid that Google Maps would get lost trying to find it. We're talking remote cabins, underground bunkers, or, if you're feeling particularly adventurous, an abandoned missile silo. Basically, anywhere you can hunker down without some alien stumbling upon you while it's out for its nightly human hunt. Now, camouflaging. It's not just for hunters and those weirdos who wear camo to weddings. You need to blend in with your surroundings. If you're in the woods, rub some mud on that face. In an urban area, time to rock that pile of garbage look. And no, it's not the time to show off your designer gear. Gucci doesn't make alien-repellent clothing. Yet. Silence is golden, folks. Those otherworldly eavesdroppers might have super hearing, so keep the noise down. That means no TikTok, no late-night karaoke, and definitely no reenacting your favorite scenes from Braveheart. Sorry to break it to you, but your William Wallace impression sucks anyway. Light discipline is key. If your hideout lights up like Times Square, you're asking for a close encounter of the worst kind. Use blackout curtains, keep the flashlight used to a minimum, and for heaven's sake, if you need to read, use a damn booklight. Food and water, crucial, but don't open that can of beans like you're ringing the dinner bell for every alien in a 5-mile radius. Learn to cook quietly and eat like a mouse. And remember, no fires. You might as well send up a flare that says, "Fresh humans here." Lastly, movement. If you have to go outside, be like a ghost. Move at night, stick to the shadows, and tread lightly. You're trying to avoid alien detection, not audition for Dancing with the Stars. Stay hidden, stay quiet, and maybe, just maybe, you'll outwit those extraterrestrial freaks. And remember, if you do get caught, try not to embarrass humanity. We've got enough problems as it is. Tip 4. Master the act like you belong technique. When you're facing an alien invasion, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And by offense, I mean tricking these extraterrestrial punks into thinking you're one of them. It's time for Act Like You Belong, Alien Invasion Edition. First, observe and mimic. These aliens might walk funny, make bizarre noises, or have some weird rituals. Your job is to watch and learn, baby. If they hop on one foot while clapping their tentacles or whatever, you do the same. You've got to blend in like a chameleon at a rave party. Now, let's talk attire. If they're wearing spacesuits or some kind of funky armor, you need to get creative. Raid that Halloween box in the attic. Got a Darth Vader costume? Perfect. Remember, it's not about being accurate, it's about confidence. Walk around like you own the place, even if you look like a low-budget sci-fi movie reject. Language is key. If they're making weird beep-boop sounds or speaking in clicks, you better start practicing. Record them, play it back, and practice in front of the mirror. Sure, you'll sound like a broken modem from the 90s, but that's the point. When in Rome, speak. Alienese? Be cool with the tech. These guys might have gadgets that make our iPhones look like ancient relics. If you get your hands on some alien tech, act like it's no big deal, even if you have no clue what it does. Just don't accidentally press the self-destruct button. That would really blow. Improvise, adapt, overcome. This is where your childhood imagination comes into play. Those hours spent pretending to be a superhero or a wizard, they were training for this moment. Be the alien you were always meant to be. Lastly, confidence is key. These extraterrestrial goons are invading our turf. Strut around like you're the lead in an intergalactic Broadway show. Remember, if you believe you're an alien, they will too. Or at least they might hesitate long enough for you to make a run for it. So, there you have it, folks. With a bit of luck, some creative thinking, and a whole lot of BS, you might just fool these space invaders. And if not, Well, let's just hope they appreciate human humor. We're hilarious, damn it. Tip 5. Learn their weaknesses, because even aliens aren't perfect. Every villain, no matter how many tentacles they have or how shiny their laser guns are, has a weakness. Yes, even our uninvited cosmic guests. Let's take a leaf out of Hollywood's book. Remember Signs? Those aliens probably mastered interstellar travel, but water, that was their kryptonite. And in War of the Worlds, it was our good old Earth germs that sent them packing. So, what's the lesson here? Simple. Observe, experiment. Without blowing yourself up, please, and strike where it hurts. First, get your detective hat on. Are these aliens avoiding water like cats in a bathtub? Maybe they're allergic to gluten, or perhaps they can't stand the sound of country music. Pay attention to the small stuff. It's usually something so obvious that it slips right under our panic-stricken noses. Next, it's time to experiment. But for the love of safety, don't go poking an alien with a stick to see if it's ticklish. We're aiming for subtlety here. Try different tactics. Maybe blast some tunes and see if they cover their ears or whatever they have. Who knows? Your playlist might just be your most powerful weapon, and when you hit the jackpot, exploit that weakness like there's no tomorrow. Because if you mess this up, there really might not be a tomorrow. Found out they're allergic to peanut butter? Time to turn your kitchen into an alien-repelling fortress. But remember, folks, this isn't a cartoon. You're not going to find a big red button labeled Alien Weakness. It takes patience, observation, and a bit of risk. Just don't go sacrificing your cat to test a theory. So keep your eyes peeled, your mind open, and maybe keep a super soaker handy. You never know. The fate of humanity might just hinge on your discovery that aliens can't handle a bit of H2O or a Justin Bieber track. Stay smart, stay sneaky, and let's turn their alien weaknesses into our human strengths. Tip 6. Avoid major cities, because aliens don't do city tours. When E.T.'s evil cousins decide to RSVP uninvited to our little blue planet, guess where they're hitting first? Yep, those bustling, shiny, oh-so-zappable major cities. Listen, I love the city as much as the next guy. Where else can you find a 24-hour taco truck? But let's face it, in an alien invasion scenario, cities are like all-you-can-zap buffets for our extraterrestrial invaders. They've got big, flashy targets, heaps of people to terrorize, and enough chaos to make a War of the Worlds look like a kiddie pool party. So, what's the game plan? Think rural, think cornfields. Ever seen a UFO trying to navigate through a maze of maze? Not happening. They're flying high-tech death machines, not John Deere tractors. Our best bet is to get as far away from the concrete jungle as possible. The more remote, the better. Aliens looking for a quick conquest will probably pass over places where the most exciting thing happening is a cow crossing the road. Now, I know what you're thinking, but my life is in the city. Trust me, when you've got laser beams lighting up the skyline, your favorite downtown bar won't seem so appealing. It's time to embrace your inner country bumpkin. We're talking about survival here, not convenience. Underground shelters? Even better. If you can get yourself to a bunker, do it. Aliens might be smart, but they're not exactly mole men. Going underground is like playing hide-and-seek on expert mode. Out of sight, out of mind, right? So pack your bags, grab a map, and for goodness sake, leave the selfie stick. When it comes to evading a cosmic hostile takeover, the countryside is your friend. Think less Independence Day and more. Little house on the prairie. We might not have Uber Eats out there, but hey, at least we'll be alive to complain about it. Tip 7. Buddy up, because aliens hate friendship circles. When it comes to surviving an alien invasion, it's time to buddy up like you're in a freaking summer camp. Going solo might sound badass, like you're the lone hero in a sci-fi flick, but let's be real. Even Han Solo needed Chewbacca. First off, there's safety in numbers. It's basic math. More eyes to spot the slimy bastards, more hands to swing makeshift weapons, and more brains to come up with a plan that doesn't involve getting probed. Let's not forget, there's always strength in diversity. Got a friend who's a tech whiz? Bam, you've got your gadgets guy. Know someone who's paranoid about government conspiracies and alien invasions? Well, guess who's suddenly the MVP of your survival squad? Now, choosing your alien apocalypse crew is critical. You need a mix of brains, brawn, and bravery. And maybe that one guy who's kinda expendable, just in case. But remember, no douchebags allowed. The last thing you need when hiding from aliens is someone whose ego is bigger than the mothership. But hey, it's not just about fighting off extraterrestrials. There's the mental game too. Staying sane when the world's gone full Independence Day is crucial. Your survival buddies are there to keep morale high. Sing songs, tell jokes, share your deepest, darkest secrets. Whatever floats your boat in the sea of alien chaos. Communication is key. Develop some sort of code language or signals, because shouting, "Hey, there's an alien behind you," is not exactly stealthy. Plus, it's always good to have someone to double-check if that's really an alien, or just your buddy Dave in a really ugly sweater. So gather your pals, make a pact, and stick together. Like a bunch of terrified musketeers, it's all for one and one for all. And who knows, you might even make some heartwarming memories. Assuming, of course, you don't all get vaporized. Remember, in the face of an alien invasion, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Especially if they can run faster than you. Tip 8. Weaponize everything, MacGyver style. Tip number 8 is about turning your inner MacGyver loose, because when aliens invade, everything's a weapon. That's right, even that weird knick-knack your grandma gave you for Christmas. It's time to weaponize your world, folks. First up, let's talk about the obvious choices. Guns, knives, baseball bats. If you've got them, great, you're ahead of the game. But let's face it, not everyone's sitting on an arsenal. So, it's time to get creative. You see that frying pan? Now that's a skull-crushing, alien-bashing masterpiece. And don't even get me started on golf clubs. Those things are like the Swiss Army knives of alien warfare. But here's where it gets fun. You know all that junk you've been hoarding because it might be useful someday? Well, today's that day, my friend. That broken vacuum cleaner, rip out the cord, and you've got yourself a nifty strangling tool. Got a bunch of old CDs? Congratulations, you now own a set of shiny, sharp frisbees of death. And don't overlook your kitchen. A blender can be surprisingly terrifying in the right or wrong hands. Let's talk defense. You can't just go charging at aliens like you're the hero in a Michael Bay movie. You need armor. Duct tape magazines around your limbs for some DIY body armor. It's fashion-forward and functional. And if things really go south, remember, a trash can lid can double as a shield. Captain America style, baby. The key here is improvisation. Aliens might have advanced technology, but they've never faced the unpredictable creativity of a desperate human with a garage full of junk. So, get to it. Turn your home into an episode of Junkyard Wars. And the best part? You finally have an excuse for all the random crap you've accumulated over the years. When your significant other complains about the clutter, just say, "Babe, it's not junk. It's our alien invasion toolkit." Trust me, they'll understand. Probably. Tip 9. Stay off their radar, because you're not John Cena. Trust me, you don't want to be caught in their neon green tractor beam or whatever they use to scoop up humans. It's time to embrace your inner ninja, or better yet, John Cena, because you can't be seen if you want to survive. First things first, let's talk about hiding. This isn't the time to update your Insta with #AlienInvasion selfie. Keep it low-key. Turn off your phone, pull the plugs on anything that beeps, boops, or plays Baby Shark. The last thing you need is a bunch of extraterrestrial weirdos tracking you down because you couldn't live without tweeting, "OMG, aliens are like totally here." Next up, let's talk movement. You need to be stealthy, like a cat burglar or those ninjas in movies who can run across rooftops without making a sound. Plan your routes, avoid open spaces, and for the love of all things holy, stop stepping on twigs. Seriously, you sound like a one-man band crashing through the forest. Now, about your hideout. If you think hiding under your bed is a good idea, I have some bad news for you. You need a spot that's off the grid, like a cabin in the woods or an abandoned mine. If Frodo could hide from Sauron in Middle-earth, you can find a decent spot to lay low. And let's talk about food and water. You're going to need supplies, so raid the canned goods aisle before you go into hiding. But remember, this isn't a picnic. Keep it quiet when you're munching on those beans. The last thing you need is E.T.'s evil cousin hearing you crunching on Doritos. Lastly, let's be real for a second. You're not going to win any awards for bravery by hiding, but who cares? This isn't about glory. It's about not getting probed by some tentacled freak from outer space. So, channel your inner John Cena, because if they can't see you, they can't abduct you. And that, my friends, is winning the alien invasion game. Tip 10. Keep fit and flexible. Welcome to the penultimate chapter of our survival guide. Today, we're diving into the sweaty world of physical fitness with Keep Fit and Flexible. Because, trust me, when you're dodging laser beams or sprinting across a field with your hair on fire, you'll wish you hadn't skipped leg day. First off, let's get real. If your idea of a workout is reaching for the remote or walking to the fridge, you're in for a nasty shock. Alien invaders don't care about your Netflix marathon record. They care about turning your ass into space dust. So, let's get moving. Start with cardio. Think zombies are the only reason to run? Hell no. When those UFOs start zapping everything in sight, you'll need to outrun those death rays. Start jogging, cycling, or anything that gets your heart pumping. Remember, you don't have to outrun the aliens, just the person next to you. Flexibility is key. Ever seen someone try to crawl through an air vent while stiff as a board? Spoiler, it doesn't end well. Yoga might seem like it's for hippies and soccer moms, but when you're squeezing through tight spaces to escape probing, you'll thank me. Strength training. No, you don't need to be The Rock, but a bit of muscle can go a long way. Whether it's climbing up a fire escape or throwing a makeshift Molotov cocktail, a little bicep action wouldn't hurt. Endurance. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, with death at every corner. Building your stamina means you can keep going when everyone else is gasping for air or getting vaporized. Stay consistent. This isn't a workout for a week and call it quits deal. Make exercise a habit. The aliens aren't going to schedule their invasion around your lazy days. Learn parkour. Just kidding. Or am I? Jumping from rooftop to rooftop might seem outlandish, but hey, it's an alien invasion. Expect the unexpected. Being fit might just save your life. And who knows, you might even look good doing it. So, lace up those sneakers, do a couple of stretches, and prepare to kick some alien butt in style. Well, we've reached the end of our wild and wacky journey through the world of alien invasions. I hope you've had as much fun reading these tips as I've had writing them. With a healthy dose of paranoia, of course. From stocking up on supplies to staying out of sight, we've covered the gamut of extraterrestrial evasion and resistance. Now, it's up to you to take these tips and turn them into action. Or at least, into some seriously entertaining daydreams. Remember, the key to surviving an alien invasion, or anything really, is a mix of preparation, adaptability, and... I can't stress this enough. Avoid getting probed. I want to thank you all for sticking with me through this guide. Your enthusiasm and support have been out of this world, pun intended. If you enjoyed this guide, feel free to share it with your fellow Earthlings. And who knows, maybe it'll come in handy sooner than we think. Stay alert, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay awesome. Until our next survival adventure, keep your eyes on the skies and your feet on the ground. Over and out.